Hi, I'm Joey. I'm an American from a small town in northeast Arkansas. But after growing up in the middle of nowhere and spending my 20s in New Orleans, Louisiana, I now live in Beijing, China. On this show, I interview other expats, talk about both the difficulties and the rewards of living abroad. Then I share my experiences living in a foreign country and traveling the world with you. This is My Life Abroad, China. Hey guys, welcome to another My Life Abroad, China. I'm Joey. How are you doing? Ni hao. First of all, I want to say today is July 11th. That means 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, the U.S. Supreme Court made it legal 100% in every state for gay marriage. Way to go, America. That's such an amazing historical event. I'm really, really sad I wasn't there to experience it and to witness it, but it was definitely heard all around the world. I heard about it immediately via WeChat, which everything blew up and everyone was congratulating me on it. It's an amazing moment in history to be a part of that, even though I'm not really in America. Um, it's been a couple of weeks since my last video, and I do apologize for that. There has been a lot going on. My roommate stole my passport and my iPad and a few other things, so I had to move. I moved out, but we also found out that he was charging me and our other roommate the full rent while he was paying nothing, you know, to live for free, and he was also not paying the utilities when we paid him for them. The utilities in China work a little differently. You get a card and you go put money on it, and then you put it into the machine in your apartment, and it just continues to siphon the money until you have to refill it again. It tells you how much it is and how much you've got, how much money you have on it, and how many units you have on it. And we would give him each 100 kwai a month, and he was supposed to put 100 on the electric, 100 on the gas, and 100 to the water, and then his girlfriend also paid 100 who lived with us, and that was supposed to go on the internet. Well, he would only put 25, 30 on each. Of course, the 25 and 30 kwai a month worked, but he would use that 25 to 30 kwai for 2 months on each thing, and that would cause the power to go out in the middle of the night, the water to go out, usually on the weekends. It always seemed to happen on the weekends. Um, the gas to go out, and you go a couple days without gas. And the internet was, he went from the fastest internet we had to the slowest internet that the company offered, and didn't tell us. He told us we were upgrading and getting a better one. He did everything he could to save money because he didn't like to work. He was completely lazy. He was not Chinese, though. He was from the Czech Republic. His girlfriend was Chinese, but he was from the Czech Republic. Everything going on made me decide this blog was going to be about the living situation here in China. I've lived in China exactly 1 year this week. Exactly. I got here on July 16th, 2014. Again, it is July 11th, 2015. Um, since being here, I've lived in 4 different apartments. And of course, moving sucks no matter where you live. I hated moving in America. I hated moving in Italy. I hated moving in Spain. I really, really, really hate moving in China. Rent in China, you don't pay month to month. You pay 3 months in advance. So I just moved into this new apartment. I paid for July, August, and September all at once, plus a deposit that is the exact same as a month's rent, plus an agency fee unless you can find an apartment without an agent. That's 5 months rent all at once. Rent ranges anywhere depending on your location and roommates. Whether you want to pay 1,000 kwai a month to 4,500 a month, or even more expensive for more high quality areas like Sanlitun, Sanlitor. It's pronounced a bunch of different ways, and I'm still getting it wrong because my Chinese is still horrible. But that's the most expensive area, I would say, where rent can be up to 20,000 to 40,000 RMB a month for just a 2-3 bedroom apartment. My first apartment, well, I came with Bela, Best Learning, last year, and they put you in a hotel for 2 weeks. While I was in the hotel, right after training, the first week is training, right after training, they put you at your new school. And then you have a week in your new school before you have to move. I met the racist, sexist pervert that I told you about previously. And before I knew what he was like, and nobody warned me about William, I moved in with him. He had a beautiful penthouse apartment, an amazing view on subway line 10, which in Beijing, line 10 is a big circle that circles the entire city. So you can pretty much get anywhere from there. And it was right near the school. It was only 6 subway stops from my school, from my work, so it took about 20 minutes to get there. Beautiful, beautiful apartment. It was like living in a 1990s apartment again, because everything in China is not modern. Of course, you can get through modern apartments, but those are way more expensive. This was a 3-story penthouse apartment. There were 3 other people living there already. My room was literally a closet, a huge, huge walk-in closet that was converted into a room. And it was perfect. William, however, was not. He would always cheat on his girlfriend and beg me not to tell his girlfriend. He would tell me some disgusting stories about the girls, about his girlfriend, and just all around his perviness. There, I was only renting month to month because I just moved here and the landlord understood. That's very rare too. So I only stayed there for 1 month. Then I moved in with Marianne, my best friend from Massachusetts, who is no longer here. And at the same time that I was moving in, she was having a new roommate move in as well. That it was an apartment that her school provided, a 3-bedroom apartment for 2 people. Some schools do provide free housing. Some schools give you housing money. But everywhere in China, they will give you either free housing or money for rent. My contracts have always been an extra 3,000 a month for rent on top of my salary. So I moved in with Marianne and her British friend, her British roommate, not her British friend. We both moved in at the same time. I'm not going to mention her name because of some things that happened a few months later before she left China, and it was very chaotic. We'll get to that. Living with Marianne was amazing. I paid each of them 1,000 kwai because they didn't have a landlord to report to, and they didn't pay rent. So I paid 2,000 a month to live there, keeping 1,000 for myself. Living with Marianne was amazing, but we had the guy show up like I explained in my other video, and it really scared her and her parents. Her other roommate decided she was going to go back home because their school was raided for some reason, and her friends got arrested. She got scared and got mad at them, which I would too. I would be terrified. I would change schools. Usually, if a school's going to be raided here and they don't have the right to hire foreign teachers, they will tell the foreign teachers so the foreign teachers do not show up that day. They always know when they're going to be raided. But this time it didn't happen, so a couple of her friends got arrested. Marianne moved out on December 26th. I moved out the next day, the 27th, and finished on the 28th. The other roommate, she came back from her trip abroad and found out everything that was going on, that we were moving, which she knew we were going to move and we were leaving. And after I was gone, the next day, the 29th, I was getting my phone blown up by our agent who had placed us in China. We all three had the same agent. She knew that I was staying with Marianne in the third bedroom, but she was blowing my phone up while I was at work. When I answered, I found out that the British roommate had destroyed the apartment. She had cut cable wires and cut open the beds and just destroyed the apartment. The washing machine the cable had been cut. And they were going to kick me out of the country for this. And I told them, look, you had somebody come and inspect. This was not the case when I moved out. I turned my keys over to you. You know I couldn't have done it. So instead, they took away the visa and the foreign expert's registration for the British roommate, and she is now banned from teaching in China for 10 years. From even entering China for 10 years. So anyway, I had moved from there to a great location by my new school, by Yaowa. Yaowa was on line 6, and I moved from the top of line 5, which is all the way north in Beijing, to line 6, 2 subway stops away from my work. Perfect apartment. I was there for 6 months. Then we found out the roommate was shipping us, which it was still a cheap apartment. I was paying 1,875 RMB a month. That's about $300 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment. Really nice. The only bad thing was the bathroom was tiny, and it had a tiny, tiny, tiny bathtub in it. It's really rare to have a bathtub in China. Usually you have just a wet room. It's a shower. The shower falls straight on the floor and drains down. No shower curtain, standing right next to the toilet and the sink. That's what I have now. The kitchen was really small as well. Well, it was an amazing apartment, like I said. The roommate, Leo, was really, really shady. So, again, decided to move after I found out that my passport was stolen and everything. I moved into this apartment where I'm at now. It is 0 roommates. I'm never going to live with another roommate again. I live in a hutong house. That's a side street, but it's also the traditional Chinese houses. My apartment is 2 rooms. There are 2 rooms. I have a bedroom, living room with my TV, a wardrobe, a tiny not even apartment size refrigerator, one of the tiny travel refrigerators, the small ones, and a bathroom. I do not have a kitchen. My kitchen is a mix of the bathroom and outdoors. A hot plate. I do not have a hot plate. I have an induction plate, which is so frustrating to try and figure out. I had them in New Orleans and they were amazing. Putting them here, I can't really figure it out. That's it. It is 250 square feet. Most apartments this size, most hutong houses are about this size, maybe a little more, 350 at the most. However, they are usually anywhere between 3,500 to 4,500 RMB a month. Again, I said my school, all of my contracts I've ever had in China, which I had one at Best Learning and I've had one at Yaowa, but I've also worked 2 part-time jobs, 2 part-time school teaching jobs where I went on my days off or every day, every morning, and taught for 2 hours a day, and I would get housing included. My salary was between 8,000 and 9,000 plus 3,000 for housing at them places as well. When I first got to China, I really, really needed it. But working 7 days a week was really difficult, and after the first 4 months of it, my body gave out and I got sick and could not get over the cold. I got a cold that stayed for a month and a half until I just quit the other 2 jobs and stuck with 1 job. Anyway, back to what I was saying. 3,500 to 4,500 RMB a month for a 250 square foot apartment to a 350 square foot apartment. Mine is 250 square feet, but I pay 2,200. 2,200 RMB. Amazing price for this apartment. I love it. It's an amazing area. I live near Lama Temple and Confucius Temple now here in Beijing. When you come to China, do your research. There are some amazing, amazing opportunities. One website to go to find them all for apartments, for jobs, for pretty much anything. It's like the Craigslist for Beijing. It's called the Beijinger. Right here's the link. You can find anything, dating. You can buy used things, used bikes, used furniture from expats moving, whatever it is. You can get a job here. You can get tutoring positions here, which pay pretty good. Pretty good. You can make anywhere from 350 to 500 RMB an hour for tutoring. If you get a few tutoring jobs, tutoring gigs, you don't need a full-time job here. It really just depends how you want to live. Everything in China is a little more complicated, but if you look at it with open eyes and an open mind, it's amazing. It's such an amazing experience, and it's full of opportunities, completely full of opportunities for exploring the world, trying something new, stepping out of your comfort zone. You just graduated college. You can't get a job in America. You can't pay those ridiculous fees for your student loans. Come to China. Teach in China. I'm telling you, a majority of the people that I know that come here are here working for 2 to 3 years to pay off their tuition in America from graduating, their student loans. 2 to 3 years on a student loan that would take you 15 years to pay off in America. It's well worth it. You're going to get headaches from some of the bureaucracy, but the same thing goes in America. I'm not telling you China's better than America. I'm not telling you America's better than China. There are pros and cons to both of them. Yes, you miss your family, you miss your friends, but you make new friends here. And everyone is there. Just yesterday, me and some coworkers, we went to their version of a haunted house. It's not the typical haunted house. We went in and it was a Walking Dead Chances themed room. I don't know if you've heard of this, but you go in and get locked in a room or in an area, and you have to find clues from room to room to get out. You find clues in one room that'll open a door to another room. In this room, you find clues again that will open another door, and then another door, and another door, and another door, until you find the way out. It's amazing. It's such an interesting experience. And some of the rooms have multiple ways in. We've done 3 now. We've done an Egyptian one that was you were trapped in an Egyptian tomb and had to find your way out. We've done one where you're in a spaceship traveling across the world and you had to find little minions that were shaped like the Marvel superheroes to find your way out. And then we just did the Walking Dead one yesterday. Really amazing. The zombies, they help you. They're not. It's scary because the lights are flashing and it's dark in this one. And the zombies jump out at you. One girl actually quit and was escorted out. 3 girls got banged up and cut because they were jumping around running from the zombies. But other than that, it's just like any other haunted house with an addition of you have to find your own way out. You have to go through the maze and get the clues. It was all in Chinese. In the spaceship one, the clues were in English. And in the Egyptian one, there were no clues. There were no written clues. You had to look at things and figure it out. It had symbols that you had to read and figure out. And it was easy. It wasn't easy. It was fun. It was amazing. Anyway, there's always something to do. So many new experiences to be had. So I'm going to let you guys go. Like this video. Comment, subscribe, share the video. Anyone you know who wants to make some extra money coming out of high school, coming out of college, you don't really know what you want to do with your life, or you do and you just want to travel the world and then become an adult in America and do everything that your parents always wanted you to do. Live your life. Do it for you. Do it for the money. Do it to rebel. Whatever the reason. It's an amazing experience. Zaijian.